What's up, beautiful people? Jaquel Winbush here, your host of Back to the Basics of Health and Wellness Podcast. And today, I will have Miss Devon Whitmore on the show of A Conky Swirl. Let's get into it. It's up to you to change generational narratives. When they tell you this runs in the family, you tell them this is where it runs the fuck out.
Daddy, it's time to start your podcast.
Hey, Dev, what's going on? How you been?
Hey, I've been pretty good. I've been awesome, actually. How you been?
I say the same thing. When people say, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I've been awesome. I've been good.
Yeah,
I've been
great.
great. That's a good word. I love great."
Let me go on my bag of, adjectives here.
I'm like, I've been great. If people like, you great? I'm like, I'm great. Like I mind my business. I tend to myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my therapist. I talk to you. My oracle, and I keep myself sane. We all go through it. We all go through it, but at the end of the day, it's like, how do you get out of it when you do go through it? So what's up? What's going on with you? How's life been treating you through COVID?
Who? Oh, it's been treating me the same way it was before all that crap. I mean, because the only people that's affected really are the ones that living outside of their own world. There you go. That's the best way I could put it.
Beautiful.
Because if you in your own world, if you live your truth like everybody claim they doing, you won't have it won't be a problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you for my package, people. And so, I'm watching him as he walk up. It's storming outside. I'm
Really?
like, yo, yeah.
Wow.
I'm in Florida. It's like, well, this is not a pop-up storm. It's a pop-up and stay storm. It's like, look, we're going to, I saw it. So, like I said, if you, because, like I do in my trauma class, the first day, the first lesson is, the first law, universal law. The mind is all, and the universe is mental. Meaning, your mind is everything, and your universe is your mind. So get with it. So if your mind is being altered or you being fed crap, you gonna be your mind ain't gonna be yours no more.
Absolutely.
So COVID-19, and the people, what it really did? People who talk that shit but don't live it, all of a sudden their whole tune was changing. Oh, you gotta be. We under fire and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness, this ain't no different than the shit from 2 weeks ago. This ain't no different from the shit from last month. This ain't no different. Let me tell you how distracted people get. It's like, okay, we had COVID. Everybody's, oh my goodness, we dying. No, we were not fucking dying. And then I had somebody come at me, like almost try to come at my neck, which was cool. Because she's down in New Orleans, right? And she's like, people are dying. I'm like, people die every day. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Well, that's a matter of perspective. Like, they killing us. I was like, yo, they've been killing people for years.
Yes.
What about all the motherfuckers that live in the projects they disappeared? Come on now. We eating them at McDonald's. Come on. Let's go ahead and be real with it. This is what happens. This is nothing new under the sun. And they're like, oh, well, they killing us. Nah, bruh. You kill yourself when you go to a doctor and be like, Harry, help me. And they be like, oh, you actually telling me that I have control? Sign this little paper to say that I do. So anyway, it's a matter of perspective, yes. But if you let somebody control your mind, then you were just one of these robots. Blah, blah, blah. But let me not get on the tangent. This is your show.
No, this is your platform right now, and I know that you are the trauma alchemist, aka.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I don't really like labels like that.
Absolutely,
but it was almost like because I was doing so much, I had to kind of bottle it up and kind of be able to, put something into perspective for anybody who asked. And And what I mean by trauma alchemy, it's a change from one thing to another.
Mhm.
I like to say, they say when you read up on alchemy, it's like turning silver into gold. Doesn't that sound beautiful?
Beautiful.
Well, how about turning shit into gold? Like something that's just bleh. Who wants to fuck with shit, right? But then now it's golden. That's what I mean by the trauma alchemy. It's taking something that's been a piss poor ass situation and you making it just glow and glitter down on you every day.
Mm,
That's what I'm about.
mm, mm. So let's wow, that was deep. That was probably heavy for some. That's probably heavy for some because a lot of
I'm
people don't live.
sorry.
Yeah, they don't live that, and they don't hear that truth. And that's what it's about. It's about the truth. And a lot of people aren't really they still not ready for the truth. Like,
Okay.
and I know you do
Well,
a trauma release program, a
right.
course, and I know, how many people are, really ready for the truth when you get into these into the courses.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Less than 20% of them,
Mm,
because the ones that have taken it. Let me think. Let me use one example. One example was somebody who was close to me,
mm-hmm.
and I honestly didn't even ask her to take the class. I just told her to proofread because I was changing platforms, and you know what happens when you change platforms, things get out of place and what have you.
Absolutely.
And I've been talking to. I've known her for 17, almost 20 years. And, she goes through her daily whims or whatever, and she'll call me, and I used to do readings for her and this, that, and the other. And, she my homegirl. So I ain't think nothing of it. Because people that's close to you, I don't really worry about them. Because because they hear it so much, they think they know. And they don't necessarily have to apply it because they're around me. It's almost like, okay, so you do your health coaching,
Mm-hmm.
your wellness coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because somebody is close to you, they feel like they have the inside scoop if they need it,
Yes.
right? But I'm not going to apply it to my daily life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to dip and call you when I have an issue right then and there.
Yes.
So that's how people use you when you right here, they can just dial you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much what happened. And she's been going through some things in her life forever, you know. And when you have lingering things, we just add stuff on top of it. We get placated with, we're satiated, should I say it like that? And then that runs out, and then you're like, oh my goodness, my life is ending, and then you find something else to satiate you. It's a recurring cycle. So getting back to her, I just said, hey, just proofread it. You ain't gotta take it. Just let me know if it makes sense and that I didn't fall asleep or something
Mm-hmm.
and sound crazy on one of these. And she ended up taking the entire class.
Wow.
And the thing that happened with her was like she was somebody who had really, really dark circles under her eyes because she was holding on to all of this stuff.
Mm.
And there's certain parts in my class where you can see for yourself on the physical level, not just from a spiritual aspect. Aspect. Um, how it's helping. And as she started doing it, she started sending me those physical things. Like, can you believe this? Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. My daughter told me I look so much better. My daughter's telling me that, I feel different and she can talk to me more. And it was just all this stuff. And she was peeling off layers and everything over those 21 days. And then she, started to make amends with different individuals because some people can't let things go if they can't physically talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But in my class, I'm teaching you the only real person you have to forgive is yourself.
Yes. Yes.
But that's hard
Very hard for people.
because you find every reason why you were so wrong and how that other person was wrong. And I need to get with that other person.
Mm-hmm.
But that other person is just a reflection of who you are. So take care of yourself. And then all that other shit is actually going to probably disappear.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So that was one person that I say that I think she had the most, she got the most out of it, but she was ready. Now, like I said, I'm talking to her for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, she also had me at her disposal.
Yes. Yes.
And people take advantage of that. Not that they mean to, it's
Mm-hmm.
just a level of comfort.
Yes.
Because I got this person on my thing and I can just call them and
Yeah.
boom, and they gonna make me feel good for 5 minutes and then I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be straight. And then a week down the line they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this, why is my life in shambles? Well, because you're an idiot. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna say that. But if you're my friend, I can say that. And you know it's all love because you want to hide behind it.
Yeah.
And I can't help you when you go to sleep at night and you having these dreams of all this other stuff. That's just you.
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening, and I'm sorry, you can cut me off at any time.
No, you good. Go ahead. No, people need to hear this.
Okay. So with that same girlfriend, finished her class and she's doing her thing. She was working with a girlfriend of hers,
Mm-hmm.
who recently her husband was killed in a motorcycle accident.
Wow.
And she started talking to her and saying certain things, and she said, look, I have been working with this person for years. It's my girlfriend. She said, but this is what she does. And she started to explain to her what I do. She says, I'm going to ask her if she will talk to you. Girlfriend's like, okay. Now, she's raw emotion, and she just wants something that's going to make her feel better,
Mm-hmm.
because anybody be like, okay, I'll take her number, and never use it or whatever. So my girlfriend comes back to me. She says, oh, I have my friend went through this situation, this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't usually think about nobody when they say that. I let spirit come in and either say, I'll keep going or let's do it.
Beautiful.
So over the next couple of days, we're talking, and I just start asking about her. She was like, are you okay? Because you didn't ask about her 2 or 3 times. I was like, yeah, call her. Text her now and say, we on the phone, and let's call her. And so the girlfriend's like, yeah, call me. Let's do it. And so I get on the phone with her, and I'm like, yo. And she's like, I think she's thinking I was going to be calling me now, some old bullshit. And I was like, yo, I am not Miss Cleo. Please do not disrespect me like that. Like, yo, I'm not even going to light no stage because it ain't even about all that all the time. If I need it, I'll do it. But nah. And we talking and everything. And I said, by the end of the conversation, just to make the long story short, I said, listen, you loved your husband, right? I said, he left, he gone. And I know you like, why is this happening to me? But you have to understand, every single one of us have our own path. That was his path. And I know it sounds morbid,
Mm-hmm.
but there's only one thing that you're really, really promised when you're born. And that's that you're going to die
Mm-hmm.
one day,
Mm-hmm.
some way.
Mm-hmm.
And there are unlimited ways you can do it. But there's one thing that everybody's promised. And we're all promised the same thing.
Yes.
You're going to die.
Yes.
Okay. So he finished his time. And so now your process is, how do I deal with this thing and
Mm-hmm.
learn from it? I said, so somewhere in your little, when you was in your little light, because you do realize that you didn't, people say, I didn't ask to come here. Lying ass. Yes, you did. You came here, you asked for it, and you picked who the fuck you was going to be raised by. How about that? So in your process, somewhere down the line, you said, I'm going to go do some shit. And I'm going to meet somebody that's going to be like, smack, 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 smack. Okay, now what you going to do?
Yeah.
I said, hello, I'm here. I said, so what we going to do? I said, you can sit in the bedroom and cry. Matter of fact, when you hang up the phone, cry. I want you to cry.
Mm-hmm.
Let that shit out.
Let it out.
And
Let it out.
understand that it's okay to cry. But
Yes.
also understand that it's not just you crying.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you are upset. How the fuck do you think your husband feels?
Yeah.
He was just riding on his motorcycle. Now he's sitting next to you talking to you. You on the phone ignoring him. And he's like, what the fuck? Why can't you hear me?
Exactly.
I said, it does work like that. So your husband walking around like, yo, why can't nobody hear me?
Mm.
And why can't I get my favorite snacks? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Almost like
We
Ghost, the
don't
movie.
understand. Yeah, and that's exactly the reference that I used. I said, so everybody has their own goal. I said, or what you could do, like most niggas do, is they'll put you in the ground, pour out a little liquor for you, womp, and keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about how much they miss you.
Yeah. But
And
don't want to
you
connect
sitting in the
with
room
you.
like you won't even pass the L to me. Y'all don't even blow no smoke up in here, so it should be some. Y'all won't be ducking. You selfish bitches. You see, I said, so y'all really don't know how to connect. You just knew after the funeral, you supposed to cry. No. You just know after the funeral, now you supposed to go in the damn kitchen and have a repast. I don't even understand them shit because I ain't never been the one in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't funeralize nobody.
Yeah.
You know, because I get excited. Ooh, they died for real? Oh, it's time to really turn up now.
Yeah.
Let's get with them.
Yeah. How to get with them. Yep. Yes.
Get with them because I was like, you don't understand. That's your biggest ally right there. They been on both sides.
Talk about that.
Oh, we just
nah,
supposed to be talking about trauma, okay?
Yeah. Nah, but you know, people don't understand the connections, man. They don't want to understand. They just want to be.
No, they don't want to understand.
But keep going. Keep going.
Well, I think is that they would understand it if they weren't so afraid.
Yes.
Because of how spirituality has been taken over by the media.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, and I fell into this at one point because I do know how to do a lot of things because I wanted to know it for myself, right? So yeah, I do readings. I make the candles. Let's see, I did some soap. You know what I'm saying? I had the spiritual soap.
Wait.
Oh,
Let's talk about that candle and talk about the soap,
okay.
man. All right, so number
you
one,
gotta talk about your experience.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's listening in. You know, I called and I asked. You know, I know she make the candles, so she made me this candle for success for my business and prosperity for my business, and you know, I got that candle and she had the instructions in the candle. I followed the instructions. I did everything she asked me to do, you know, and, you know, shortly after, you know, I lit that candle and it burned out, things started to happen for me. Things started to come to my business. When I used her soap, you know, it was like a clearing soap, right? Or what was it? What type of soap was that you gave me? It was
you probably had a mental clarity soap.
Yes, and it was like it was you know, you had directions for the soap on how to use the soap, and you know when I used that all the products and used them to the way that you told me to use them, oh man, it was just like everything happened, and it was like tears of joy, and I was calling you and I was like, yo, this is what just happened, or this is you know, just things were just coming to me back to back, and it was just amazing to have that feeling. And you know, I was getting into my how can we say this for the people? I was getting into my spirituality, my real spirituality of dealing with self, you know, and not dealing with the outside entities and things like that, just dealing with me. And, you know, it was just a huge 360 from just lighting that candle and letting it burn and using that soap and just clearing my energy, my aura and everything. And it was just a beautiful experience. And I would like to still thank you for that to this day, because things are still rocking and rolling as we talking, as we move along into the future, you know. So I appreciate that. But
I'm glad that I met you. That's dope. But I do like to say, because I am not making those candles or that soap at this present moment. But I would want to say, because here's what happens with people. We're such consumers that we're like, yeah, I'm gonna go get that. Oh, that sounds like that'll work. But the main thing, the integral part is what you said. I was into my spirituality for me. It was you were focusing on you. It wasn't about the soap. It wasn't about the candle. The candle is actually, you know, it's like the conduit that you're doing. It's the energy that you're putting in. You went and said, my mind is set on getting this candle for prosperity. I'm directing it towards my business. That it wasn't me. I made a candle. I put the energy into the candle saying, okay, keep your mind straight. It's pretty much what it is.
Yes.
You kept your mind straight. You did. Yeah, I gave you some direction, but you could have freaked it any way you wanted to.
Absolutely.
But You go in and you did your thing, and it's really you because the universe. You know what I'm saying? The mind is all, and the universe is mental. It's all you.
Hmm.
So I do appreciate it, and I'm glad that I could be a part of that process. But I want you to know that you have the power.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Period.
yes.
You could have sat with a dollar store candle,
Hmm.
but it takes you to get to that level of knowing that you do have that power.
Yes, and that's where I'm at
You
now
feel
with
what
the
I
dollar
mean?
store candle. Yes.
Hey, and that's all I get.
Yes,
If I
yes,
even light a
yes,
damn candle at
yes,
this point,
yes.
because sometimes you don't have the damn time because
Uh-huh.
and this is what I'm saying in my trauma class. I take you through those universal laws so you to understand that you are everything. And even if you are a Christian or from someone who's religiously based that has a book that gives you your instructions,
Hmm.
in that book it says ye are gods. I don't know who said it, probably Peter or somebody, I don't know.
Hmm.
But they tell you you're God. So pretty much you understand how powerful you are. You are concentrated into one body.
Yes.
And you got all this shit that you could do, but we don't do it.
Mm.
We just waste away because we look out the window and be like, oh, somebody got that car. I want that
I want
car.
that.
You
Yep.
know, and then I ain't going to never get it because of X, Y, Z. And then you reduce yourself being back to, I think it's even less than a man. Just a dim light on the earth.
Yes.
So, yeah, it everything has everything to do with you,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes from the top down.
Yes.
It's like a
Yeah.
pyramid is built from the top down.
Yeah. And
The
yeah.
thought of it had to come first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's
And
okay.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, because it's funny because I have people now that's in my circle, and they'll be like, I tell them what I do or tell them what I used to do because like you, I don't do as much as I used to do anymore because now it's just a part of me. So
Uh-huh.
now it's people that say, "Yo, hey Jaquel, I tried this and I got this from it." And I was like, and my thing is, imagine how much more you can get out of doing it if you did it on a continuous basis. Because a lot of
Uh-huh.
people like to do things and they'll get what they were looking for, but they don't continue, and then they start
Yep.
to move backwards. And I tell people you have to be consistent with your work. So the more consistent you are with your work, the more things you will see. It might not be everything that you want, but it will open your eyes to see all of those things that are possible at the same time.
Yep. It'll be everything that you need because
Yeah.
it's you.
Yep. Yep.
And another thing is that this process is hard. It's gonna be the hardest thing you ever did. And I ain't gonna lie, now sugarcoat it. This shit is hard,
Yes. Yes.
but
It's very tears, guys.
but
You're
it's
gonna have tears
so
throughout this journey.
no. Fuck that. You gonna have the sniveling, snotting out your nose. You're gonna be holding yourself rocking in a corner
Yeah.
type
Yes,
tears.
you
It's
will.
gonna rock you. It's
Yes.
gonna rock you like you've been beat with an extension cord. Like
Mm.
it's gonna rock you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways to get through that too,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, because once you get through it, really, if you really go hard in it, put your head down, go hard for you. You ain't gonna have to go through it like that again.
Yes. 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 Because
That's
you
the
breaking it.
beautiful thing
Mm-hmm.
in the whole scope of it. But the folks, well, I ain't ready for that. Okay, don't be ready. Shoot, I don't care. I mean, what do I care about that? Oh, which reminds me, let me get back to the girl whose husband just transitioned.
Sorry, guys. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. Well, let's get back into it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to stay on track
I
because I
know.
can have the attention span of pocket length. I'll be like, squirrel, it's crazy.
And guys, when
But
we
I'm just
when me and her are not on the podcast, we have conversations like this all the time. So this is how we get down. But please
yeah, we
finish that
probably
story.
haven't had a complete thought in all the time we've been talking. Just trying to keep it on track to keep the focus on, just
Yeah.
how does one actually relieve the trauma? I'm working with this one individual right now, and because it's so fresh and so raw, I just started talking to her like, oh yeah, so your people probably was like, now that you have put your husband to rest, as y'all call it, you need to start working on getting a lawyer because of the person that hit him, and you need to start working on this, you need to start working on that, and they're giving you all these directives, but are they sitting with you in that house? Are they doing anything to help you cope with looking at something that he left there, his shoes on the floor, or they're not helping you cope with that part at nighttime
That's
when
deep.
you lay in the bed by yourself,
That's deep.
are they? And she's like, no. I said, but you know what? The one thing I did say to her as soon as I started talking to her was, "Hey, how you doing?" And she was like, "I'm good." I was like, "Man, if you don't stop fucking lying to me, go ahead and say I'm raggedy. I feel like shit,
Mm.
and I want to cry." And then I'm gonna say to you, if you don't cry, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Cry.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit in the house and cry. Sit on the bed with your knees up to your chest and just be. I mean, like, do the ugly cry, do all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out. Because check it out. From here, it's gonna be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you want it. If you don't want it, it's cool. I mean, because I'm gonna go finish doing this shit in my kitchen, and you're gonna be fine. So, because really, it's your world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just coming in here for a glimpse. But what I did tell her I gave her a bunch of stuff and I laid a bunch of stuff on her, and I didn't mean to, but apparently Spirit was like, "Well, you talking to another God? Go ahead, because if you not one, I ain't gonna front. I'm not gonna talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, yeah, I want to do this, this, and this, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to brush you away from me if you're not on that level, or you're not even trying to get to that level.
Yes.
I'm a no." And so I just told her, "Listen, do a couple of these things. You can try it out because it's different, because you're from the place of put him away, to lay him to rest. And the only time I'm really going to give him energy is if I go give him some flowers, put it on the grave or whatever." I was like, light him a candle, put his favorite snacks by. He hungry, shit. Like, come on now. And I started naming off movies. I said the best thing to do is watch children's movies because they tell children what the real is.
Mm-hmm.
And then their parents go and tell them, "Oh, that's just a movie." I was like, but they tell you exactly what shit is
Mm-hmm.
when you, like, go watch Coco. Coco will tell you exactly how that shit is.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know? Because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't honor your dead, they do go away. They get very weak.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you be like, "Oh man, I wish I could make my greens like grandma," that ain't lifting her up. Make greens every weekend, and she gonna tell you how to make them shit.
Mm-hmm.
I lie to you not. I promise you, she gonna come through and say, I make Caribbean food all the time because my dad's grandmother was from Jamaica. My dad never made Caribbean food, but I know how to make it because when he transitioned, guess who came through? The grandmother that I never met.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Baby, look here. I got him. He good. Don't worry about him. Now go in that kitchen." And I'm like, "Okay." But I love to cook, so that's my thing, and he and I had a thing with cooking. And so really, to this day, I'm still kind of battling with him.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I battle with him on a physical level? His energy came through my son. Heavy, who is the master of making shit that I would never even think about making because I don't have the patience. Like how you 10 years old in here making macarons, like this is a French pastry, and you going and tasting people's macarons. I'm like, mine are better than these.
Wow.
He is my father. He is my daddy all day long.
Mm-hmm.
He need to use every bowl and every spoon in the kitchen when he bakes. That's why I don't like him in my kitchen because he got to clean up. It's just this is how Spirit is, and people don't understand how joyful that is.
Yes.
Because the people that they're following have actually don't have that power to connect,
Mm-hmm.
and so that adds on to the trauma because you funeralize. You don't. And I see, I'm from New Orleans. When somebody passes, they do a second line. It's a party. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We dancing. And now it's become more of a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
You hear about the second line, the same. But traditionally, it was when that's what the party that followed the, procession when someone was being funeralized. But you would have that party with that music because the music is, and I mean, Soldier Slim, he was a rapper that was murdered down in New Orleans. When they had his second line, they took his body out the casket and was dancing with him.
Wow.
And that sounds so weird, but any of the other countries do the same thing.
Yes.
They have times of the year where they actually dig up their dead,
Yep.
dress them in new clothes, clean them up.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are taken care of, and they live off the land. So you know the rains are coming,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they're going to be fruitful in whatever it is in their life that they need. And they're going to be taken care of when it comes to whatever needs to happen once they transition.
Yep.
Over here, it's like I said, we're just worrying about being consumers. Y'all worrying about who doing the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why do I want somebody attached to the body that they was, hurting them? Ew.
Yeah.
My family, well, no, not my family. Well, my relatives, my mom and my brother
Mm-hmm.
had a problem with me going through and taking care of my daddy when he transitioned. They ain't wasn't fucking with him when he was breathing. But now that he's passed away, now we want to see what the hell going on.
Yeah.
And I went on business as usual. I cremated him, did all this, and I just want to tell you, people, when you cremate somebody, I know I sound morbid, but my daddy was a weed grower and a weed smoker. And my daddy's box smelled like straight weed for like 2 months.
Wow.
And when I picked him up from the funeral home, I'm not emotional because it's my dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, you can smell him. Oh my goodness. I can't believe his ashes smell like weed. They smell like weed forever.
Wow.
You gotta find the lovely points. Trauma means taking responsibility and understanding my actions.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
yeah. Copyrighted that, so don't take it. But don't try.
Don't try. It's mine.
But it's my. I gotta be responsible because if you think about it, something happens to you, how you respond
Mm-hmm.
is really where that trauma really lies in.
Yeah.
You found out your girl or your dude, quote unquote, cheated, and that's a whole nother story
Mm-hmm.
on what cheating is. But they went against the agreement that y'all had.
Yeah.
And you bust out his tires or something, pick one of them songs and, bust the windows out of his car. And okay, so that's how you responded to that, and I understand hurt. Hey, y'all don't know my story. I done been through some stuff, but do you wallow in it or do you understand, okay, what's the role that I played in it to dim my light to the point of getting to this, to attract this shit? Because it's we're just a bunch of damn magnets. We just attract it. You attract the opposite, but you attract high level and low vibrational stuff too.
Absolutely.
So if I'm feeding into this shit, it's going to stick. And if I'm like, man, fuck that ain't about me, it ain't going to stick. Okay, think about that with the COVID shit. If you bringing it in, it's going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
If you like, that ain't got shit to do with me, that ain't part of my world.
Mm-hmm.
That's out there. Let them people deal with that. That's for them people.
Mm.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I got totally off. Okay,
No,
back to the girlfriend. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to get through this story by the end of the conversation. And now she's totally overwhelmed with all this spiritual stuff to do. She's thinking she need to break out her notepad and that she's going to do something wrong. And I keep telling her, I don't care how you do it. It's just that you do something for him other than put him in a suit and put him in the ground. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because he's already sitting next to you, not wondering why he's touching you on that spot that you like and you're not responding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you need to do when you get off this phone and you get ready to go to bed and have this on your mind, fuck your husband. And she was like, what? I said, girl, go fuck your husband.
Mm.
And it's just like, huh?
How do I
No,
do
I'm
that?
serious.
Yeah.
If you ain't never had sex spiritually, you have never had sex.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Because what that means is you're actually tapping into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can expand yourself to the point where you could do anything.
Absolutely.
Especially connect with the person that you love. You could do it with people you don't even know, and I'm the queen of that shit. But because you can't get pregnant, there's very little cleanup, I mean, I'm just saying, you don't have to feel like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
You can float, you can do whatever you want, you can have, hey, no limits. It's just the imagination in it. But I did talk to her again,
mm-hmm.
And of course, the first thing I said to her was, "Did you fuck your husband?" she
She's
was
like,
like,
why?
she was like, well, I'm gonna talk to you about that. She was like, but I did smell him.
Oh wow.
Because I told her, like, we gonna start doing stuff. You gonna smell him. You gonna see shit. You can start seeing shadows. I was like, the thing about it is, you either welcome it. If you tell them to go away, they will go away. Because the spirit that's close to you does not want to hurt you. They
Mm-hmm.
do not want to make you cry. So they will go away. She was like, permanently? I said, look at here. They will go away. So the thing is, you have to build him, you have to build you, and become stronger and understand that just because he's not in a physical sense, which is actually the lowest of the low, then, you know, it's a whole lot of joy in it, period. So
Absolutely.
we did take a speak again. And with trauma release, you have to, if we have in our society, and especially in our, if you want to lump us up, community, as melanated beings, you're not gonna get me to call us dead. I'm sorry, black. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Black means dead.
Mm-hmm.
So melanated, and I'm just speaking on the surface of melanin.
Mm.
You want to call us a group? You see what I'm saying? We have a lot of trauma in the sacral region, and that's the sex, reproductive organs, and all of that stuff.
Yes.
And you and I have had this conversation about how men know how to please themselves and how women don't.
Mm-hmm.
And people, if you're wondering why was y'all having that conversation, because we do this out here, okay?
Absolutely.
Because you got to talk about everything.
You got it.
Everything can be. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everything. There's a lesson in it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what I was working with her on, it was just really simple, really, really blanket. I said, okay, um, you're gonna have to please yourself to connect with him because he's on a higher level now. He's on a different level right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just gave her a couple things to do. And I said, and after a while, you're going to find yourself doing exactly what he would do. Because you have to know how to please yourself first. Because a lot of women don't know how to please themselves.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because when we're younger, we're told that we're supposed to do this, 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 and this. And if a boy does it, oh, they just being boys.
Uh-huh.
Boys will take all the time to please themselves.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where it is, 2 hours in the bath. I'm working with two teenage boys that stay in the bathroom for hours. And I'm like, can you please put it away? Do you have enough toilet paper? You okay in there? You know, cause, and, you know, I have one son that's like, no, I don't do that. And I have another son that's like, well, you let me finish. You know, that's the one that my dad pretty much gave me. Yeah. So that's the kind of relationship we have. But, you know, it's cool. It's okay for them to know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because they know how to please themselves, that's how these men will then gravitate to knowing how to please a woman. Like, oh, well, I could do this, and it felt good to me. Let me see how I can do it for you. And then women start to get, you know, complacent. Like, well, I can get me somebody that'll do this for me.
Yes.
I'm like, well, do you know how to do that for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, because the motherfucker might not be there all the time. But
Absolutely.
come on now. But then that's a level of reciprocity too. Because if she don't know how to please herself, will she really know how to please you? Like to that level of I'm really pleasing me, and I'm not. You know, it's a lot to it. But people got to understand that you got to deal with that trauma.
Absolutely.
So, you know, just chipping away at little things. And through the class, I'm taking you through that journey where even you could be the most learned person, you could be the most pristine person, and you could really realize that one thing that happened to you in the third grade still fucks with you, and you and your boy.
Talk about it. Talk about it, man.
And I'm talking about it because guess what? I wrote this shit and I went through it and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still fucking mad. You know, because in all honesty, when I wrote this class, I wrote it physically. Spirit took over and wrote that whole thing. Because I had to take the class and I was like, yo, I put this shit together. Yo, that's dope. That's pretty good. Ooh, you know. So
nice.
It's worth it.
Yes, it is.
And I'm not here to actually like promote, go take this class. I'm promoting, I do want you guys to take the class. But I'm not releasing it for another couple weeks again.
Another couple of weeks?
So yeah, I'm not going to release it for another couple of weeks because I want to go back through it again. And I just want to go back through it again and just make sure. that I would like to put it on that scale because I have everything set up. It's really push a button type thing.
Absolutely.
But that's where my perfectionist stuff comes in. Because I'm more so of a what you can call it. I don't like labels.
Yeah.
I am me, and I just do shit when I feel like it.
And you
So
do it, and
right
you do it
now,
well, and you do it well.
and I appreciate it, but it's the integrity of it. I think
Hmm.
that's really what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to water it down
Hmm.
or rush it so that people can go and buy it because I want you to complete it. It's 21 days, but I'm not going to be like, if you don't finish in 21 days, I cut you off, and oh well, the hell with you. Nah, it ain't like that. You have a little bit longer than
Hmm.
that. But you have to be ready to be dedicated to yourself.
Yes, yes, you do.
Nobody's going to know that you're doing it 100% online. So when you take the class, you dedicate yourself. Each day you have a task to do, and you can do it. But what I found is a lot of people let distractions come in and they get off course. And then they
You
beat
just hitting
themselves up.
you hitting all the nails on the head right now, because
Oh, okay.
yeah, and because people, that's what humans do. We
Yeah.
self-sabotage ourselves out of every
Hmm.
damn thing. And it's
Hmm.
like, even with weight loss, it's like, weight
Hmm.
loss could be a easy transition, but we self-sabotage ourselves right up out of it
Yep.
and say, I can't do it, it's hard. Is it really hard? It wasn't hard to
Well,
gain weight, but it's
well, you know why? Okay, okay, I'm glad you said that. You know why it wasn't hard to gain weight? Because that's a communal thing.
Hmm.
I could go out to dinner with my girls.
Hmm.
I can go out to dinner with my homies or whatever, and we could sit and we could eat and we could
Yes.
talk shit.
Mm.
So that's a spiritual experience people don't even understand. So
Uh-huh.
when you do it solo dolo, it's
Come
like,
on, come
oh
on,
no, I'm by myself.
come on.
Oh my goodness, I can't do this. Oh
Yes.
no, no, no. And so with the wellness part, you can lose weight and be weller,
Hmm.
more well, more well, just by drinking fucking water. It's like, then you can get into what kind of water. And if
Hmm.
I need to add XYZ to the water, do
Hmm.
I need a supplement with water? How? But I never knew how many people don't like just the taste of water.
Hmm.
They're like, I can't drink water. Say, huh? Like, that's all I drink. And I
Yes,
drink so much water that I know that all water is not the same water.
absolutely.
You know
I
what I'm
put
saying?
a
I'll go
post
in
up
a
that
restaurant, I'll be
yesterday.
like, yeah, like, when I go and I'll be like, I need a glass of water. Hold on. Are you about to give me ice down Charlotte water? Because I don't want that.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we have a filter. All right, I'll rock with it. I'll rock with it. They looking at me like, did you really just say Charlotte water? Hell yeah, because
Yeah,
half of
that's
y'all
what it
bitches
tastes like.
go in there, turn on the spigot, and that shit just be blip, 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 putting all them pharmaceuticals in my face. No, thank you. I'm
Yep,
good.
yep.
So what I'm saying is baby steps, and that's what the trauma is. You take it. People want to just swallow their whole trauma
Hmm.
and then think, voila, I'm good. And you can't do that.
Yeah.
You was traumatized from the moment you came through the birth canal. That's trauma. That shit hurts.
Hmm. Yes.
I gotta come through this little ass space, and then all these lights and it's cold and I don't have nobody feeding me and I don't have to think about it no more. That's traumatic.
Absolutely.
And then, and that ain't even we ain't even talking about what happened when you were in utero. You got all that going on that you came into that people say, I didn't choose this yet, the fuck you did. And you have to understand that your life ain't your life until you move out of your mom and daddy house. Your life is your mom and daddy life. And so
Hmm.
you are under their rules. So that's traumatic. So you have to forgive yourself for that because, okay, I picked these motherfuckers. There has to be a reason why I did that shit, and all of that stuff. I'm predisposed to being like 400 pounds, I think. Because if I think about food, I'm going to gain weight.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just me. But I mean, that's what I picked,
Yeah.
and a soft belly, you know what I'm saying? I guess a soft underbelly, but there's some pluses somewhere else
Absolutely.
because the physical ain't everything.
It's not. It's not. It's
We're taught about that,
yeah.
and you have a lot of beautiful motherfuckers who are miserable.
Yes. A
Pick
lot of
one.
a lot
Pick
of
one.
strong, fit people that are unhealthy. You know,
who die from heart attacks. And they be
exactly.
like, well, they was fit. And you got people who eat pork sandwiches every morning and
Hmm.
live to 120. It's the
Absolutely. It's
mindset
the
of it.
mindset. It's
All
the,
the mindset.
yep, all in
I
the
don't
mind.
like pork. I don't eat it. But, if people do, go ahead and enjoy your pepperoni. I don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
I mean, okay. That's good because you got some people who like to do, they like fellatio and some people who like anal. Okay, cool. Whatever floats your boat. I
Yep,
don't care.
absolutely.
Do it and do it well. So
Hmm.
anyway.
Hmm.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm ramble. Sorry, people. I just talk. I'm a
Oh,
talker when
very
I
good
feel
talk.
like
A
it.
very good talk. A needed talk, and people need to hear that more often. I know you're not a good person. Well, I'm not say a good person, but I know you're a person of a following on social media. So, can people follow you on social media?
You're
I know
hilarious.
it's how I can be. I know.
Okay.
I know how I can be.
No, 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 no. Because I'm not huge on social media.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
right.
And it's
And I did go through a social media cleanse, and I deleted everything off my business.
yeah.
I surely did.
Hmm.
So I am getting better about that because
Beautiful.
people,
Look at where we come.
we-
Look at
you
where we
know,
at.
people like to be entertained, and I'm not your entertainment. I
Yeah.
want you to do your damn work.
Yeah.
Probably what I'm thinking. I
Yes.
like to be entertained. That's why I go to entertainment.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
but I'm not fooling you full of hot air,
Hmm.
fluffing you up and shit. Like,
Just gonna give you the truth.
because then you get people.
And I want to.
Well, I don't even if it ain't your truth. I don't give a fuck either.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's just because
And,
it's mine.
and to the people out there, when I talk to
Mm-hmm.
Devon, it's like I envision, like, honestly, when I talk to you, I envision the Oracle from the Matrix every time, with smoking a cigarette and giving you that raw truth, and that's all I see when I'm on the phone with you. To be
And
honest,
everybody says the
that's
same
who I
thing.
see. I see this lady sitting in the Matrix on the movie, and I just envision her as I'm talking to you all the time, and that's why I call you my
Wow.
Oracle. And that's where it all comes from. Yeah.
And
So.
it's really fun. And I take that and I say, okay, that's fine. I mean, it's
That's just
not
what it
calling me
is.
now. It's
that's
not Miss
that's
Cleo, so I'll take it. I'll
yep.
take it. It's
That's what
not
it
Miss
be.
Cleo because
Yep.
she was a fraud. She
So
was a serious fraud.
So how
But
can they get in contact with you if they wanted to join your class, or I will definitely
everybody,
share
no,
your information that once it comes out and things like that, but how can they get in contact with you?
yeah, you can email me info at akonkisworld.com. That's AKANKES world.com.
And I'll definitely put that in the show notes for you guys to get in contact with her for
Yeah,
her
and just
21
hit
day
me up.
trauma. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 21-day trauma release.
Yes,
And because
yes.
it takes 21 days to form a habit, right?
Talk about it. Talk about it. We got to talk about
Then we
it.
get some applause.
Get that
Yeah, because that's
applause.
the whole reasoning. That's the whole reasoning for
Yes,
it. Because,
yes.
even with weight loss and, wellness, it takes 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you consistently put yourself, like I said, put your head down and be like, I'm getting into this. You can do your daily. Ain't nobody saying that you can't. But in your daily, your eyes are going to be open
Mm-hmm.
to things. And I did want to make a point as to why we don't do stuff
Mm-hmm.
because we talk too damn much.
When
When you're going to
wait,
lose
hold on.
weight,
I had to hit you with that one again. Oh man, people don't understand. Just
you
talk too much,
talk
but go
too
ahead.
damn much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop telling people not so much your business, your intention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, intention. Okay, so nothing precedes a thought. And I'm sorry, y'all. This is just how I get down.
Mm-hmm.
I have to bring it down to the small that you can bite it. If I can't explain it to a third grader, then I don't know the shit. Okay, so pretty much nothing comes before the thought.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of all the thoughts you had in a day, think of all the bajillions of thoughts all around, right? And everybody has thoughts, but nothing comes before it.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have a thought, and then you have to break down how you're going to take the first step to do whatever it is to get to the goal that you have. So if you want to be X amount of pounds, you have the thought, I need to lose some weight. So then what is the next step? And so you've taken these different steps, right? After you have the thought, but then you go run your mouth And so somebody else has a thought that kind of goes right up there with your thought, but it ain't of the same frequency. And they told it to you too, so that they can start chipping away at your confidence with your thoughts. And so now you're like, maybe he do charge too much. I mean, like, what is he doing that I can't do myself? So now you was all hyped and you was ready to go, and now you're not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You sitting around the table eating pasta at 11 o'clock at night with the person who told you that the person that you reached out to, you could do that work yourself, and you ain't making no movement because you're talking too damn much.
Absolutely.
And you could do it to yourself, self-sabotage too.
Self-sabotage.
But everybody else ain't on the same page.
Mm-mm.
I don't give a damn if they on the same page. They're not on the same page. I had to learn that for myself. And just, I don't have a huge circle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even tell my circle shit.
Yeah.
Because I've been like, yeah, I'm working on something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just leave it at that. And all of them know, oh shit, if Devon tell me something, then she really must have already fucking done it. Because she's not going to tell us until it's complete.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
Stop thinking that you need to have a confirmation from somebody outside of yourself. If you think about it more than 2 times, guess what? Do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Yep. It's almost like
Just
the
do
5-second rule. If you don't do it within 5 seconds, you ain't gonna do it. So you gotta make it happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, just do it. Everybody is afraid of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a challenge for everybody that's on the phone. If you an 80s baby, stand in the dark and say Candyman 3 times and see what happens. Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You know, I do that shit all the time. You either gonna run out or you gonna feel like a surge of energy.
Yeah.
See what side of the shit you want.
Yeah.
But anyway, that has to do with your trauma.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
You're very welcome.
You're very welcome. Hey, I just need one more thing from you. One more thing. In closing, what advice can you give someone during these times right now? What is your one piece of advice to give people right now?
Number one, I don't give advice. I give suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest you turn the fucking TV off.
Beautiful.
Drink water.
Beautiful.
And breathe as much air as you can, even though they're telling you, no, don't breathe the air. If you don't go outside and sit on your porch or your backyard and just get with yourself, because there's a whole lot of shit happening, but it ain't what they telling you.
Yep, absolutely.
It's not what they telling you.
Get in tune with yourself.
And yourself is going to now. Okay, here's the last piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that there's 3 levels to the consciousness. Mm-hmm. Unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
The conscious mind is what you use every day. You know, when you be like watching your Love and Hip Hop and shit, thinking that shit is real,
mm-hmm.
and it's feeding your ego, the conscious mind is your ego.
Mm-hmm.
The subconscious mind is recording all of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So leave the ego to washing your ass, making sure you brush your teeth good, put on some mascara because you can't put no lipstick on because you got a mask on. Leave it to the simple shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking just from a female perspective because, hey, I am one. And work that subconscious.
Yes.
Because the subconscious be knocking on your door.
Mm-hmm.
Subconscious will come by you and be like, you know the sun is really green, and your conscious might be like, oh, you stupid motherfucker, it's yellow. But really, is it? How do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and challenge all them things. I say throw away all the shit you think you know, and then go learn it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so very much for coming on the show today. And I think, and I know that the people got a treat. they got that truism today. So,
I hope they did.
Yes,
I hope they did. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. And you'll be definitely back on soon to talk about some more and to talk about that trauma release, that 21-day trauma release program and course that you have unrolling in a couple of weeks. So let's get to it, and we'll definitely have you back
on. Stay on me about it, because
mm-hmm.
I get in my head and I'll be like, oh my goodness, it's August. Shit.
Well, let's make it happen, because these people need it right now. They definitely need you in your work. And I know that after they work with you, that they will feel much better within this world that they live in. All right.
Mm-hmm. They need to live in their world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, lady. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you again. Thank you again. Welcome. Appreciate it.
And we'll talk soon, okay?
All right.
All right, have a good one. Hey guys, I'd like to thank you all for listening to today's episode of Back to the Basics of Health and Wellness Podcast with my homegirl, Devon Whitmore, the Conky's World. You know, I appreciate you all for always tuning in. You know, if this helps anybody, please let them know. Share the podcast, listen to the podcast from start to finish, because, you know, let them know it's a lot of jewels being dropped in these podcasts. It's about your wellness, and I want you guys to really take that very serious in today's climate. All right, guys. With all that being said, enjoy, be well, and continue to make a lifestyle change that lasts. Have a great one, everybody.